This is the Talkin Buds Football Show. What's up, everybody? If you're just joining us for the first time, I'm Rob Furnish. With me, as always, my co-pilot, Mr. Bryan Chalk. This is the sister podcast to the Talkin Buds Leaf Show, in which we discuss all things NFL and all the latest news and notes from around the National Football League. Bryan, I sat down today and I was like, what are we going to talk about tonight? What are we going to lead with? You know what? We're going to lead with the Dallas Cowboys. And I'm going to ask you right out of the gate, are the Dallas Cowboys the best team in the NFC?
Oh, for sure. I think they are. The 49ers are so good, but there's just something different about the Dallas Cowboys. And, just that defense. I love watching their defense. It's so aggressive. What do you think? Who's the top dog in the NFC, Rob?
The Dallas Cowboys definitely have the best defense in the NFC. I'm not ready to name them the team because I just can't get there yet. It's only after 2 weeks. I just can't get there with Dak Prescott. And I think the Niners are an absolute wagon. But if we spent all offseason really kind of like debating who's going to be the team to beat in the NFC, because when you look at the NFL, all the best quarterbacks and all the real powerhouse teams are in the AFC. So we were kind of like, the Eagles, the Niners, whatever, the Cowboys. Like, the Cowboys, I saw them as a playoff team, but I did not see their defense looking like it has looked through 2 weeks, and Micah Parsons making a case for the best player in the National Football League. That dude is sensational.
Not even just best defensive player. Like, as you said, best all-around player. Like, he's doing things on the defensive end that I've never seen before, especially from somebody in his position.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible, man. I took a look at the schedule. Week 5, Cowboys at Niners. Circle that one on your calendar. The Niners have ended the Cowboys season the last 2 straight years. I think this Cowboy defense going up against an inexperienced Brock Purdy is going to be super interesting to watch. That is one set up in front of the TV for that game, my friend.
Especially if you like defense. Like, these two teams, those defenses clashing is going to be quite something. Plus, they could both put up crazy numbers on offense. So I'm very excited about this game.
Yeah, it's gonna be really, really exciting to watch, man. I kind of look around the league right now, and it's like the quarterback play and the offensive line play through 2 weeks hasn't been that good. And I think we're starting to see a tide turn. Like Nick Sirianni said after the Eagles win on Thursday night, I can't remember if it was after the Patriots win or after the Vikings win, but he said, I'm never doing that again. I'm never sitting all my starters for the entire preseason again. Like, these guys are going to get in and they're going to get some reps and they're going to get into game shape. And I think, a few years ago, Sean McVay swung the pendulum this way by not playing any starters in the preseason. And I get it, man. The last thing you want is your star quarterback to get hurt in a preseason game and your season's over before it's even really begun. But now you're seeing the impact of that, and I think you're starting to see the pendulum swing back a little bit this way, where it's like, no, we got to get some starters in, because the offensive line play specifically through 2 weeks has been bad. Like, bad.
Really bad. And these guys need reps, especially on the offensive line. Like, you got to get used to playing with a unit. It doesn't matter if you played 5 years together. The summer off is going to change things. New playbook, new play calls. Every year is different. These guys need more than a half a quarter in preseason to get prepared for the season. And it's very evident to start just the play we've been seeing from some of these guys.
Yeah, man. It's really... It's bad, dude. It's bad.
At all positions, like quarterbacks, half of them get 1 quarter at the end of preseason to get some reps in.
Yeah.
I think they should get a full game at the end of the season just to see what they have for 4 quarters.
Yeah, 100%. I don't disagree with you, man. It's really... It's so funny how this happens in pro sports, right? It's like I said, the pendulum swings one way and then it swings back the other way, and now we're all talking about like the last couple of years where the preseason doesn't matter, they're getting rid of a game, it's whatever. But now it's like, no, the preseason does matter. Like, you look at Jordan Love, like, a lot of people have been really impressed with how Jordan Love has looked in his first 2 games as the Packers starting quarterback. And it's like, yeah, the guy played he played at least 2 series or at least a quarter in every Packers preseason game.
Exactly. And he got to know the playbook, and that was very important for them there. Like Matt LaFleur definitely had a plan for him, and they stuck to it, and it really worked out to start the season.
Yeah.
Now, if people catch up to him, we'll see what happens the rest of the year. But
Yeah, it's true. So let's talk about let's start with that game. The Packers losing a heartbreaker to the Atlanta Falcons 25-24. This is such a weird thing as a Packer fan because once again, I left this game feeling good about Jordan Love. Like I left this game going like, you know what? Like I'm just so impressed with the guy's composure. Like
yeah,
he's cool as a cucumber in there. He makes really great throws. He doesn't look rattled. He doesn't look like the moment's too big for him.
doesn't turn the ball over
Doesn't
really.
turn the ball over. Yeah, like following in Aaron Rodgers' footsteps in that regard with the no interceptions. But it's same old Packers, man. Like just get gashed on the ground with the running game. And I know Bijan Robinson is a special running back, and that Atlanta
Oh,
Falcons team is one of the surprise teams of the year thus far
and they
for
haven't
me.
even used Kyle Pitts yet. Like he's not
Yes,
even been activated. I mean, he's
exactly.
playing, but it's like, is he really?
Yeah, so like they're and like the Falcons are much better this year than they've been in previous years, and Bijan Robinson is special. But like once again, this team cannot stop the run, and like they got gashed all game long.
Even through the air, like Desmond Ritter threw a pick, but like he still put up 237 yards, and
Yeah,
like he played okay. Desmond Ritter is just he's so boring to watch though. But
yeah.
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my, yeah. No, he's not. They're not. That's what I mean. I could see the Falcons maybe potentially in the mix to win the division and getting like a playoff game, but like you're not. They're not going too far with Desmond
No,
Ritter. No,
no, like but Bijan Robinson, he's a special player, as you said. So I'll watch
it's
them just for him for Kyle Pitts, but the rest of the team kind of is so boring.
it's super frustrating, man, because the Packers defense is just first round picks all over the place. And I'm someone who was not a huge fan of the making Joe Barry the defensive coordinator. But at the end of the day, it's like there's enough talent on there to be better than this. And it's frustrating. Now they're really lucky because the Bears are 0-2, the Vikings are 0-2, the Lions are 1-1. So they're right there tied with the Lions at the top of the division. But it's I don't know. There needs to be better. Like it's going to be interesting watching them this Sunday against the Saints because the Saints are a 2-0 team that hasn't looked very good through 2 weeks. So that will be an interesting matchup. Jordan Love's first game as the starting quarterback at Lambeau Field, like just really sort of like a litmus test as to where this team is.
I can see that being a win. It's just consistency you got to see with the defense. If they
Yeah.
have consistent games, I think the Packers will be okay and definitely a playoff team.
Yep, 100%. All right. Let's move over to the Buffalo Bills, who absolutely stomped the Las Vegas Raiders. I just want to get one thing in here. What are the Las Vegas Raiders? Like, I don't get it. Like, they've got Jimmy Garoppolo, they've got Devontae Adams. They looked terrible. Like, they looked absolutely terrible.
I mean, the first drive of the game, I was very nervous. They went 75 yards all in my face.
Devontae
But
Adams gets the touchdown.
Devontae, yeah.
Yeah.
But the rest of the game, it just looks so confusing. Their run game sucks.
Yeah.
We held them to like -3 yards running, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But they're such a confusing team. Like, what do you think with Jimmy Garoppolo? Like, unless you're on the 49ers with him, he's one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. We saw it all, like everywhere he's been. He's just so inconsistent. He averages like 150 yards a game. He's the worst quarterback in my opinion to watch.
Yeah, he I don't know, man. Like he's not I just couldn't believe how bad they looked. Like don't
And
get me
he
wrong, like they're in a tough division. Like I didn't pick them to be like a playoff. But I predicted them to look better than that. That was terrible.
it's also Josh McDaniels. This guy, he's the worst like head coach I've ever seen.
Yeah, and there's a culture issue going on there too. Like they're feuding with Chandler Jones right now, and
Yeah.
that situation's getting kind of messy. And like I don't know. Anyways, over to the Buffalo Bills, who this was a get right game against a get right opponent. It seemed.
I mean, Josh Allen really needed to step up this game, especially after week one. He said he loved feeling like that after that game. Bullshit. He obviously you would know one. He looks so sad in the presser. So this was a good get right game for him. He had, I think, 12 for 12 to start the game. Looked really sharp. Didn't make stupid crazy plays. He just used his abilities to his advantage,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is what he needs to do moving forward. These wild, stallion plays are fun to watch, but you have to be smart about it and use your talents when they're needed. And it's
Be smart.
yeah,
Be
just
smart. That's
be
what
smart,
Diggs and
Josh.
what's his name, McDermott keep doing to him all the time. They always keep looking at him and going,
Which he needs to hear it. Like the
yeah.
week one, he looked horrendous. He's like the worst quarterback in the league. So I'm happy he stepped up and found himself. Like he looks like vintage Josh Allen right now, who's is more refined. And the run game, James Cook,
Yes.
my
Yes.
boy.
Yes.
I've
I
been
watched
waiting
that.
for this. 124 yards or 123 yards. I haven't seen a running back on the Bills in triple digits in 3 years?
It's amazing how when you get some support in the running game, that's why it's so funny. Like, not to get off on a tangent here, but like, obviously in the offseason, there was all this discussion about like running backs and like they don't want to pay them. And on the one hand, it's like you've seen two running backs like right out of the gate here in Nick Chubb and now Saquon Barkley. Barkley looks like he's only going to be out for 3 weeks, but like Nick Chubb's season is over. And so it's like part of the reason why they don't want to pay these guys is because the nature of the position is you get hurt so often. But at the same time, if you have an effective running back, that completely changed. Like, look at Christian McCaffrey on the 49ers. Like, that's like their offense essentially goes through him.
Yeah, and the Browns offense went through Chubb. It's like you need these guys and you need them week in and week out. And I'm just so excited the Bills have James Cook now. Even
Yes.
Latavius Murray, like he had the first touchdown run. He is one of the tallest running backs I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He just went through everybody.
It's just amazing. Yeah, amazing the difference like an effective run game makes.
And also the passing game. He hit all 9 receivers, 31 completions to all 9 receivers. Gabe Davis was that number 2 we've been waiting for to step up and have a big game. And he didn't have to force feed Diggs the whole time. So I'm extremely happy with how they looked on Sunday.
And definitely a get right game for them, something that they desperately needed as they head into week 3, taking on the Washington Commanders.
Which is a team that scares me.
Yeah, a team that like I think everyone like kind of snickers at the Washington Commanders, but like they're a tough out.
Their defensive line is up there with like the Cowboys
scary.
defensive line. It's pretty scary.
Yeah. So yeah, interesting matchup for them on the road too. Super interesting. One game that I thought like we couldn't not talk about this week is the Cincinnati Bengals are 0-2. Joe Burrow, 27 of 41, 222 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. I think you're seeing, like we talked about the preseason thing a few weeks ago, you're seeing a guy who was nursing an injury, who probably still isn't 100%, coming back in like 0 reps, getting thrown in against the Brown, 2 divisional opponents back to back. And just like last year, the Bengals are 0-2 out of the gate.
And I mean, I'm not super concerned about the Bengals. I think this is just like they do every year, start slow. Joe Burrow, I think he is still hurt. I think I saw a report about that actually today. It's re-aggravated, but they do this all the time. They'll be right there when the playoffs come around. So I'm not too worried about this.
What do you think of the Ravens? Are you buying the Ravens?
I'm huge on Lamar Jackson. I drafted him as my fantasy quarterback. I think he's amazing. Odell being injured means nothing to me. He's a nice name, but he's a bit old now.
Yep.
I don't think he's got the same juice, but Lamar he's a fantastic quarterback.
I think they're a team to watch out for this year because as the organization has finally gone all in on Lamar Jackson. And he had a huge hand in developing the offense this year, and they've embraced him as their franchise quarterback. And I think they're a team to really watch out for. If they're a team that can stay healthy, look out for the Baltimore Ravens come playoff time.
Agreed, and nobody's chatting about them, which makes me even more nervous for playoffs.
Right. Next game I wanted to move on and discuss was the Kansas City Chiefs defeating the Jacksonville Jaguars 17-9. Yeah, a brutal, like just a not entertaining game. But this is what I'm talking about. Like the offensive line play brutal, quarterbacks look completely out of sync. Like, it's really the defenses. You hear football guys talk about this all the time, and it really is true. The defenses really do have a head start on offenses to start the season. Like, all these offenses look totally out of sync.
I just feel like the defense, they train so much harder together. Like offense is all the pretty boys, it's the celebrities of the team. The defense, they're always ready to go, and because they're just animals. To play defense, you got to be an animal.
But I think you saw, like, you see once again, like, why Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. Like, you look at his line, like 29 of 41, 305, two TDs and an interception, and he's still like, the guy doesn't like. He's like, I'm not losing this game.
No, like they only put up 17 points, but you knew he was going to win that game, and that's all they needed. I love the Travis Kelce thing, though. The announcer,
yeah,
the blank spaces.
I know. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Just fitting that in so nicely.
That was so cringe that it was funny.
Yeah.
Where are you at on the Jags?
I don't know, like, because the Jags have looked pretty bad, in
Yeah.
my opinion. I had much higher expectations for them, especially their offense. I think Trevor Lawrence will figure it out, and they've got a great coach in Doug Peterson. So as long as they can put their playbook together, they'll be fine. It's just they're stumbling out of the gate.
Yeah, I think they're a team that'll get better as the season goes on. I still see them. I think they will win their division. Actually, Tennessee's always kind of hanging around, but I think I think the Jags will win their division and will be there come playoff time.
You're right, though. Never count out Vrabel. He can do some crazy
the Titans
stuff.
Titans are one of those teams, like, they just won't die. Like, they go out and they beat the Chargers. The LA Chargers are 0-2. I think Brandon Staley is on the hottest seat in the National Football League right now.
He's fired right after this season. If they're going 0-3, he's definitely fired.
100%. And I think they just promote Kellen Moore to head coach. Kellen Moore just becomes the head coach. And then you have Justin Herbert with an offensive head coach and someone who can finally, because I talked about this with you last week after the Bills game and my frustration with Sean McDermott and what the Bills are doing. And like, when you have a stallion of a quarterback, you just need to like, what did I just say about the Ravens? The Ravens just said, all right, you're our quarterback. We're going to work with you to build the offense. We're basically going to push our entire franchise through you. And that's what you need to be doing. And when you have a defensive guy like Brandon Staley as your head coach, you're not leaning into your team's greatest strength, which is having an absolute stud under center.
Yeah, like, I don't understand what GMs are thinking all the time with these defensive coaches.
Are
they doing people favors? Like, what? I don't understand this at all. If I have a GM, it's the most offensive of all time.
Exactly. Especially now. It's like, we're in a league right now. Like, this is an offense-first league. Like, you literally can't breathe on the quarterback without getting a penalty anymore, because quarterbacks are what make the game go and what makes offense go, and that's what people want to see. So it's like, if you don't have the quarterback, okay, I get it. Like, let's focus on building up our defense and special teams and whatever. But if you've got that guy, man, like, just the second you get that guy in your organization, your whole philosophy has to be around building your franchise around your stud quarterback.
100%. And that's what's always bothered me about the Bills. They focus on defense, this and that with Sean McDermott. Let's just get all the weapons we can in the world, baby.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
it's not the 80s anymore. Like, we don't need full defensive teams.
It's not. Speaking of offensive coaches, the Niners, like, Brock Purdy has kind of a mediocre game, and they still beat the Rams. The Niners are a wagon. Like, we talked about the Cowboys off the top, and are they the best team in the NFC? For me, it's the Niners. Like, I also think the Niners have that psychological advantage over the Cowboys as well.
They do, and the Niners' offensive line is really well trained. The way that they move on the run game is something. It's just so sexy.
It's super, super impressive. Okay. Are we nearing the end of Bill Belichick's tenure as head coach of the New England Patriots? Do I think Bob Kraft is going to fire Bill Belichick? No, I do not.
No.
Do I think if the Patriots keep trending in the direction that they're trending in, there could be a conversation about Bill retiring potentially? I think so. You watch the difference in offensive philosophies and execution was on full display on Sunday Night Football, but with the Dolphins and the Patriots. Mike McDaniel has so much pre-snap motion going. He has guys open all over the field. He's got Tua Tagovailoa absolutely dialed in. That team, I tell you what, man, that team, look out Buffalo Bills for the Miami Dolphins. Like that is without question your greatest adversary in the division. And meanwhile, on the other side, you got Billy O dialing up plays for Mac Jones, and he can't make the throws, and guys are like kind of out of position over on the side, and nobody's open in the middle, and it's just kind of like, I just feel like the game has gotten to a place now offensively and like with Belichick that like I just don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know how much longer he's got. Like they don't look defensively. I think they've looked okay through 2 weeks, but like offensively, there's nothing there.
Yeah, like his son Steve might be a decent coordinator because holding the Dolphins at 24 points is kind of impressive, to be honest. Like I feel like they're going to win the AFC East. It's a hot take for a Bills fan, but I just the way they play, they're going to win it.
If Tua can stay healthy,
that's a big if because he's had some big problems. But Mac Jones just, when I look at his face, it doesn't look like a quarterback's face, and I don't like that's a weird thing to say, but he doesn't have like I don't think he has the brain.
Dude, he looks unhappy.
He looks miserable. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he's having fun at all. He looks like he's dreading the next series and the next play. He does not look like he's enjoying himself. And I just think, like, I wonder, like, what would Mac Jones look like in another organization with an offensive head coach? Do I think he'd be a virtuoso top 5 quarterback? No. But do I think that he would look better than last year when he had a fucking defensive coordinator calling his plays? Or this year with, like, I think Billy O is definitely a step in the right direction from what they had last year. But still, like, you like, just watch him. Watch Mike McDaniel. Look at what Mike McDaniel is doing. Mike McDaniel is straight off that Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay coaching tree, where it's just like watch the pre-snap motion. It's like you're dizzy watching it.
And look at every coach that's come out of Belichick's coaching tree in comparison.
Yeah,
Josh McDaniels horrendous.
Oh, brutal. Yeah.
Yeah, just like his whole list. The Lions coach, what was his name? Matt Patricia,
the
horrible,
the defensive coordinator calling the offense last year.
Yeah, / Lions worst head coach of all time.
Yes. Like, so I don't know. I do think if the Patriots finish the season with like 4 or 5 wins, I could potentially see. I don't know if it'll happen next year, but I could potentially see Bill Belichick retiring announcement. Because it's time to get a new, younger mind into that franchise.
I honestly thought it was time 2 years ago.
Yeah, it could be. It could be, man. A couple other we'll do some quick hits. The Vikings are 0-2. They
Cousins.
The Eagles again didn't play well in that game, but still ended up winning. The Lions lost to the Seahawks. In like those two teams, whenever they clash, it's like it's back and forth. It's high scoring. It's entertaining.
Can I say one thing about the Lions?
Yeah.
Really bothered me. So Dan Campbell goes for it at every 4th down. Why at the end of the game were you playing for overtime? You're supposed to be the man that goes for it. Go for it.
Yeah. So I good point. But I think the Lions, like I think we saw like let's all just hold our horses. I still think the Lions are definitely the favorite to win the NFC North and could make the playoffs. But let's hold our horses on the Lions being one of the more elite teams in the NFC. Like everybody just
I know. I gotta relax. I was hyping them up.
The New York Giants came all the way back to defeat the Arizona Cardinals 31-28. We could be heading to awkward territory within the next couple of weeks between Russell Wilson and Sean Payton.
Oh, it started.
It has started. Yeah, like I don't know how much longer. Dude, he looks when they play the first half and it's all scripted plays, he looks fine. As soon as they go off script and he has to start executing, dude, he can't do it anymore. There
Other
was
than
a
the
time
Hail
where
Mary,
yeah,
but that was pure luck.
there was a time where Russell Wilson was one of like the elite quarterbacks in the game when it comes to that kind of thing. And like
He was fourth quarter Russ.
yeah,
That was his nickname.
yes, and now he's a shadow of that player. It's wild. You can just see the frustration starting to grow on Sean Payton's face.
And he won't stay quiet for long. I'm sure he's already given to him, but I actually think at the end of this year, Russell's done for the Broncos.
Dude,
I can't see it going on.
Dude, his contract extension hasn't even started.
They're gonna figure out a way to
I know. Or he's gonna go. So yeah, or he's gonna. I don't know. It's that is something to watch this year in Denver. The New Orleans Saints defeated the Carolina Panthers 20-17 in a game that made my eyes bleed. One of the thank God there was another game on. And Brown Steelers was a bit of a shit show, but at least it was an entertaining shit show. Saints Panthers was that hurt my eyes.
Like, I'd much rather look at Brown Steelers uniforms any day of the week, regardless of the play, than those two uniforms.
You would not like to look at Nick Chubb's leg injury, though.
No, that was quite horrifying.
Yep.
I feel terrible for Nick Chubb. He's one of my favorite players. Sucks he's not going to be in the league, and yeah, it's just running backs can't catch a break.
Yeah, this nice win for the Steelers, but I attribute that to the Browns' offense was just completely inept after losing Nick Chubb. I want to dial back. These 2 weeks have shown me that a lot of the discourse that happens in the offseason of the NFL with some of the talking heads is just gets way out of hand. Like, there were people who were calling for Kenny Pickett to be most improved player of the year, and there were people who were calling for Justin Fields to be a potential MVP candidate.
I kind of fell into that after his end of the season last year.
Oh my God, Brian! No.
But my eyes have been open to Justin Fields. He's terrible.
Yeah, he is terrible. All right, my friend, we sort of soft launched this segment last week, and this week we're going to do it right. We're going to officially tee it up and let it go as we look ahead to week 3. This week we debut the brand new segment that you will see here every week titled Brian's Bets. Brian, the floor is yours. The way we're going to do this is you're going to lay your bet picks on me, and I'm going to let you know if I'm riding with you or if I'm chickening out.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to start with my favorite pick, Rob. So let me know what you think about this.
Let's ride.
So I got the Baltimore Ravens -8 over the Colts. I just think they're gonna smoke the Colts by 2 scores.
I'm gonna ride with you on this one. I think we talked about Lamar earlier. I think the Ravens are dialed. I think I don't know. You're right. The Colts are the Colts. I just don't see it.
Anthony Richardson is injured, so he's in concussion protocol right now.
Yeah, I don't see it. So I'm definitely gonna ride with you on that one.
All right, let's go. So my favorite underdog is Tampa at +5, and that's over the Eagles.
I'm gonna ride with you on this one too because Baker Mayfield looks dialed, and the Eagles, while I still think that when all is said and done, they'll be one of the top teams in the NFC at the end of the year. They've kind of struggled out the gate. I think the Eagles win this game, but I definitely see the way Tampa's playing. I'll ride with the +5 for sure.
Oh, for sure. I could see this being a field goal, like a 3-point game here. So I'm comfortable +5 on that.
Yep.
So my favorite over for the week, it's a pretty high scoring game. And these two teams can put up points and they're terrible on defense. So I think we should all ride on this one. It's the Chargers Vikings over 54.5.
Yep. 100%. Two mediocre, shoddy defenses, two quarterbacks that like to sling it. I think you're 3 for 3 thus far.
And for my favorite under the week, I think we're going to be 4 for 4 this week because I've got 2 teams here that cannot put up points to save their life.
2 absolutely inept offenses.
And they have decent defenses that can hold you under 36.5. It's the Patriots and Jets.
I like it. I'm riding with you. Last week I chickened out on a couple of them. This week I'm riding with you on all 4.
Well, you were smart last week. We did lose a couple, but we're going 4 for 4 this week.
We're going 4 for 4 this week. I like it. So lock them in. Each week, Brian will be doing his Brian's bet picks. I'm ready to go. We need to start showing your record though.
Yeah, so I'm gonna I gotta find out my record from last week. I can't remember it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start recording as of this episode where my record will be.
Next week we'll tally up your record. And we'll when we make your bets, we'll show your record as well.
Yeah, I love it.
All right, buddy. I think that's going to do it for us. As I look ahead to week 3, I'm trying to figure out like what game stands out the most to me is what I'm most excited for. I mentioned Saints Packers earlier just to get a look at Jordan Love at Lambeau Field. I think Bills Commanders, like we said, is a lot more interesting than what people might think. I think people sort of snicker at the Washington Commanders, but they're definitely like they're a team that's a tough out every week, no matter who they play. And then I think Monday night Rams Bengals could also be pretty good because I think the
Yeah.
Rams need that win to stay in the division and the Bengals need that win to stay alive.
And the Rams are better than we thought, so it should be a good game. The other
100%.
game that I want to look at for on Sunday at 1 p.m. is Falcons Lions. I want to see more
Yes.
of this Atlanta team.
Yes. Yes. I can completely agree. I think that division that they're in, I think it's going to be pretty much them and the Saints. Oh, the Buccaneers too. No, there's 3
Yeah.
teams battling it out. Yeah. Interesting. You're right. You and I kind of wrote that division off in our season preview a few weeks ago, but it's actually shows you what we know. It's actually turning out to be a pretty entertaining division.
That's why we love the NFL. You never know.
100%. That is why we love the NFL. And if you love the NFL, hit that like and subscribe button below so you can come back and listen to Bryan and engage with us every single week. Get in on Bryan's bets. Leave some of your own bet picks below. We love every second of it. We will see you guys after week 3. Oh, shit. No, I have to end the recording. There we go.